Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and GreenSunsZenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Rainbow Depths. This build is a build that Wiltron 92 and Crucible of Words, who I recently had on the stream, link in the previous YouTube videos, that went 5-0. The only difference here is that I have added a Legolas's Quick Reflexes over the third Stifle, just to see how it plays out. I'd love to see how this card could potentially be a worthy fourth Not of This World in the versions only playing 3. It has some pretty cool effects being split second, and of course being able to protect pretty well. This deck typically doesn't have the mana for Legolas's Quick Reflexes. I'm going to call it LQR, but I want to try it out. I want to see how many times it comes up where potentially Not of This World would have been just better, or where Not of This World wasn't as good. So that should be pretty cool to see. Otherwise, the deck hasn't changed too much since Tom Hepp went on his 67, nearly 70 trophy season with Rainbow Depths, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, I really like it. I haven't played the bug version in a little while, but really looking forward to it because it's a really enjoyable deck to play. It's a very quick deck to play, which is nice. You don't really have a plan B, so you're pretty all in on the plan A, which doesn't mean you have a weakness. It just means that you're very well covered in terms of things like Hand Disruption and Thoughtseize and Inquisition. We have Not of This World and Legolas's Quick Reflexes for protection, alongside Crop Rotation for Sejiri Steppe. We do have some interaction in Bojuka Bog with our opponent. We also have Karakas in the board. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm pretty keen to play a version with the Rainbow lands as well, because there have been a few times when I've played non-Rainbow versions and the mana just hasn't come together as well as you would typically think. But here we are. Very cool to see John as well. Big shout out to XJ Cloud at the top of the Legacy League standings, currently with 10 trophies, the only person with double-digit trophies. Being on the play, I would say, is a pretty big advantage, but here we are on the draw. Not too sure up against. Really want to have a hand with both combo pieces, so either Dark Depths and Hexmage, Dark Depths and Stage, or one piece and a way to find the other. Typically, you don't want to keep hands with, say, Hexmage and Stage, because then you're just dawdling to find the depths. A pretty great hand is like Urborg, Dark Depths, Hexmage. They're the 3 that I really want to see. And then say Inquisition of Thoughtseize, Not of This World, potentially Lotus Petal, potentially a Crop Rotation. That's what I'm wanting to see. Hey Ben, very cool to see you. Big fan of you as well. Always love to see how active you are in the different Legacy communities. I think the deck, funnily enough, I would say Rainbow Depths as a Turbo Depths deck benefits those who are patient. Know when to go off and know when to take it pretty easy. So here we have a pretty easy mulligan. We have no Dark Depths. We have a double up on Hexmage. We have one land. We do have everything else we kind of talked about, but this hand is not doing a whole lot, so pretty happy to mulligan this. Here we do have Dark Depths, but sadly we don't have another way of really getting either Thespian Stage or Hexmage. Thankfully, my sort of strategy with Dark Depths is you have Dark Depths, Urborg, and Vampire Hexmage, which is probably your best sort of opening. That's 3 cards. Anything on top is really gravy. So even a 5 of, say, Dark Depths, Urborg, Hexmage And then we have 2 things to find in either hand disruption, protection. I think I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. This hand does have, you know, a lot of time. You do have turn 1 potentially Thoughtseize into Thoughtseize or Inquisition based on what they have. We do have 2 black sources as well alongside the depths, so I could easily see this just being like drop potentially a Thoughtseize, potentially the Inquisition. It's one of these 2. And then just have Thoughtseize into Bog, into potentially depths with the 2020. Also having black and green here means you also have access to Sylvan Scrying, which is nice, but I think I'm typically a fan of, if you don't have both pieces or ways to find both pieces, mulligan. Again. Now, there does come a stage where it's like, all right, we do need to make sure we're not just mulliganing to 2 or 3 cards. Here we would mull to 5 and would probably drop the second Urborg and the Ghost Quarter. And then what we would have is turn 1 Needle naming Wasteland into Stage or Thoughtseize. We could even Thoughtseize and then Needle off the Petal if we really needed to. If we go Urborg, Petal, that also plays around days, and then Thoughtseize off the Urborg. I go against everything I was just trying to say, but I don't want to go to 4. So we will keep this and we will bottom these 2. I would love for all that consideration, and then just my opponent just turn 1s me off, just like something crazy. Okay. A Delver variant. Well, thankfully here, Needle is going to be pretty hard for them to beat. They might have some sort of effect like Brazen Burrower to bounce it, but otherwise, we're looking pretty good. The question now is, what do I care about? So Stage is one piece of the combo. So if I say Stage, Petal to play around days, Needle, and they force the Needle, and then Wasteland the Stage, it's actually not the worst because we still have Urborg into Hexmage. So I think that the Stage is less of an asset for us than the Urborg. But playing Urborg here allows us to draw into either Dark Depths or Crop Rotation and play the Hexmage and the Petal and then hold up the combo. So I think we're going to go Urborg into Petal. I could try to Thoughtseize here. And then Petal. But I think I'm happy just to Needle and hold the Thoughtseize. Hey, Damo. Will be cool to catch up on Friday. I think it's going to be Needle. And then the following turn we can potentially Thoughtseize. Okay. This hand actually plays around days quite well thanks to the Lotus Petal, so I'm pretty happy to untap next turn, not just jam the Thoughtseize here off the Petal. One small interaction in this matchup is that Hexmage does remove counters from a large Murktide, so you can buy some time if you're in that position. Usually that's a pretty tough spot to be in that I don't think that's going to do too much, but it is an option. Same thing for Questing Druid. If they attack you with, say, a 5/5 Questing Druid, you can block with Hexmage, deal first strike damage, and then sacrifice the Hexmage, targeting the Questing Druid, removing all counters. It'll have 2 damage on it, and it will it'll pass. Another Urborg isn't great. Let's go for Stage, and here I'm just going to play the Thoughtseize. Definitely think of Brainstorm here, putting away the cards that they would not like us to take. This fetch might also tell us the color they're on. Okay. Bowmaster. Ah, of course. Okay, so they are Grixis. Using our own Urborg to their advantage. And really just trying to get some clock together. Okay, so here we don't really care about the days. We do care about the force. But thankfully not a great hand from them. I can't play the Hexmage here either. There is a world where I could have. Maybe that was a little bit quick. Maybe I should have taken the days, allowed them to have the force, no cards, and then just played out the Hexmage as a blocker. Although it's not great throwing the Hexmage out there, we already have the stage for the combo, so I think that was actually a misplay, and I probably should have taken the force. I was thinking long term with the force, but obviously this turn, I should have put more thought into just playing the Hexmage this turn, knowing we have the stage with Needle backup. Little things that can definitely add up and snowball. Find a Brainstorm. Okay, that's probably the best card they could have found. It means that our knowledge of the hand is no longer. So we can try to keep finding threats. This is a pretty interesting matchup. Challenging from both ends. Knowing what to force. Knowing when to wasteland, when to go after mana up instead of the combo. A lot of cards are virtual copies. Three, four, five, go to 11. I probably have 2 turns at best after this one. One thing with a card like Crop Rotation, which is of course an instant in this deck, is to think about Mishra's Bauble draw and potentially responding to the draw in upkeep, so they can't draw into, say, Daze or Force and blue card, or Force. And there's Crop. Well then, they have 3 cards left. We did leave them with a Brainstorm. Sorry, we did leave them with a Daze, which doesn't matter too much here. Float mana. Play... Oh, I actually... Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. I meant to crop away this Urborg. But that's going to be... Yeah, that's tough now. Float mana, crop it away, play the next one. Ah, they're gonna daze it. Yeah. And this is where that extra mana would have come up, because the Dark Depths could have tapped for mana being in play. Go get Depths. Play Hexmage? Ooh, okay, we're gonna do this now. They have Stifle? Yikes. Okay. Well, we have just Urborg as a top deck. Three, four, five, go to 6. That will not do it. Tough. Little things that really add up. Okay. What do I like here? I don't really want the Dismembers against a deck like Delver. I do like the Needles. I do like the Not of This Worlds. Stifle doesn't do a whole lot. It does sometimes help against Wasteland. I don't mind the Flusters. Needles are good. Not of This World is good. I would assume Brazen Borrower is the card, not Submerge. But I still like all the hand disruption. It's actually a tough one. I do have... Let's do it quick. I remember from Tom's channel, there it is. Here in the description, oh, it's not there. We'll find it. Rog Delver, okay. Karakas and Petal. Karakas. Out a Petal. 2 decays. I don't mind something like that. Potentially 2 Fluster. Maybe even just the 1 Fluster. I don't think there's really too much that's needed to be changed, which is good for us. Everything kind of has its own role. Maybe actually Fluster's better than Stifle. I agree with that. Brazen Borrower, Submerge, cards like that are cards I really want to make sure I have some sort of answer to. Alright. On the play, we have one piece of the combo in Crop Rotation, but nothing else. Pretty happy to mulligan this. Okay. Nice. Here we just have a turn 2, which is pretty sweet. If we drop the Thoughtseize here, and we just try to go for it. Turn 1 stage. Turn 2 Dark Depths, Petal, Spirit Guide. It is very all in, but I'm pretty happy for that. We could try to draw into mana to hold up Flusterstorm as well, but I think I'd rather just try to take them out turn 2 than potentially draw into a land that can cast Flusterstorm. Another Petal would actually be really good here. Scrying. I think an upkeep here, we're just going to go for it. To play around Wasteland. Okay. Not too unhappy about that. Does buy us some time. Okay. Another stage. Like a gemstone here would be perfect. Okay, going beat down. To be fair, we can copy their volcanic island to then turn on the Fluster and the Stifle. I think here we just go for it again. Yikes. Hmm. 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, block 1, 1. Tough. Yeah. Sometimes you can get a little bit caught out going for it, but opponent multi 5. So I think pushing them to have the answer, and in that case 2 answers, is definitely worth it. But yeah, Delver overall I think is a pretty decent matchup. A lot of interaction. A lot of cards you don't really care about getting dazed or forced. You can also play the combo under counter magic, which is really nice. The effects of Orcish Bowmaster you don't care about, which is really good. Usually when you play a Hexmage, you'll just have an out to it in Dark Depths. So the Bowmaster pinging it isn't too bad either. But yeah, some little mistakes can definitely snowball. We saw that game 1. Alright. $25 lands is also quite a lot for a deck that typically tries to go off turn 2 for turn 3 win. A lot of those are utility as well, and of course win conditions and things like Dark Depths, so... Did I actually just miss my match? I think I did. Have a pretty sweet Patreon donation deck list coming up, which is like a black-white scam style deck, which looks really cool. I'll get to that this weekend and then have it live next week. which is pretty sweet. I have another Depths YouTube video to go live, which I'm very much looking forward to. Again, we have like things, but no way to get Dark Depths, so yeah. Very similar to game to the opening hand, but a lot less to do, and then stage in place of Hexmage. Not great either. Urborg, no other land. Ha! Alright, we're gonna go for the 3. Okay. Land. Oh. We're putting back the spirit guides. And I think we keep the crop, just in case we're up against a deck that is like a turn 1 graveyard deck. I do want to have Bojuka Bog open, but I won't play the Petal. I think having the Petal as unknown information is better than having it on the field. And if there's something like a Prismatic Ending deck, I don't really want to get the Petal Prismatic Ending before I could use it. Opponent could potentially think Dredge with the Mana Confluence. Not many decks in Legacy do play it, so guess we'll see. Tundra. Tundra definitely not what I want to see. Flusterstorm, typically very good. Surgical's okay, especially with hand disruption, but they have so many good ways of interacting with Marit Lays that it can be a bit of a trap to bring in Surgical. Right, no shuffle. Offer Tundra is tough. I could just name Karakas in the blind. Could also go after something like Teferi. I don't want to go after Flooded Strand. I think that's a little bit too cute. Could also just hold up Crop. Honestly, could also be something like Cephalid, which hasn't seen too much play. Okay. Triome, okay. Most likely a Leyline binding deck then. At least we now essentially have the combo with one piece off the top. Hexmage allows us to crop for Dark Depths. Stage allows us to crop as well for Dark Depths. It's definitely a world as well where you just don't care about Teferi. drop? 5 color? Yeah. I don't mind Thoughtseizing here because we are pretty tight on mana. Force negation. Okay. Still nothing. There's depths. One more land would be cool because then we could also crop into Sejiri Steppe as protection. Opponent just playing lands. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to take it a little bit slower here. Okay. Still play to Fairy out. But they have no white up, which is interesting. Question is, do I make it? I think I make it now. It's tough though. They haven't played. Oh, they played a trop. Interesting. What could they have with these colors? Like, we can't beat Sheoldred's Edict anyway. I think we just go. I could wait. Like, I can't pedal anyway. I can't crop anyway with Teferi on the stack, so maybe I should. They tapped the Flooded Strand, which is really interesting, because that means they don't have white open. Oh my gosh. Wow. Is that a mull to 3? Crazy. That's actually insane. Wow. All right, definitely got out of jail there. I don't think we care about Leyline Binding because if they're Leyline Binding, they're probably just getting rid of Marit Lage, which means if we destroy it, we get nothing back anyway. I like the Flusters. I like the... I don't mind the Surgicals. Stifle does interact with... Stifle does interact with the card I was just talking about, which is Leyline Binding, which is nice. Inquisition, Thoughtseizes. We're going to be a bit slower, so I don't mind just going like minus a Petal, minus a Spirit Guide. And go with that. No real need for Needle either. A lot of Planeswalkers, but typically no Wasteland. We have Stifle with that as well. Cool, okay. So here we have like Dark Depths with Quick Reflexes, which is sweet. Yeah, I think it comes down to the player. Like, I wouldn't bat an eye to anyone playing Duress. I kind of like Inquisition because it does take something like DRC or Delver just to, like, keep some of the early game off the table. And then, like, a lot of decks moving towards, say, Sheoldred's Edict over Submerge, or even Brazen Borrower is just, like, an extra creature as well. I think here we just want to hold up Fluster. And then next turn, probably Urborg and then Dark Depths. One nice thing to note as well is that Hexmage can kill Planeswalkers. Okay. Ponder's fine. I think at this stage I'm happy to play out one Hexmage. Wow, they're going to force it. Pitching an Uro as well. That's really interesting. Because the Uro puts them back to 21. What does this mean? Like, we could fight over this. They're willing to fight over it. Honestly, I'm happy to trade the Fluster for the Force, because if the Hexmage gets into play and then gets swordsed, that's fine. I probably won't do anything. And then we just untap and we have another Hexmage plus quick reflexes. Like, the Force here shows weakness. And potentially with Teferi, the Flusterstorm only gets so far. Wow, they're going to force the next one. Okay, that's more than fine. So we just traded 2 cards for 4 cards. 2 cards as well in Uro and Teferi that just replace themselves. Hey, Baladin, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the follow. I think next turn it's going to be Stage Pass. Could also play out the Hexmage. Hold up reflexes. Bro, that puts them to 19. They currently don't have a second green either. Or a land in hand. Okay. Now I'm feeling pretty strong. Spirit Guide is also quite nice. Spirit Guide's actually pretty great. Because... no, nearly. I was going to say it allows us to play the stage, hold up stage Dark Depths, and also play Hexmage out. I guess this means if I cast the Hexmage and it gets countered, we still have 1/2 mana with stage, which is pretty sweet. The One Ring. Ooh, they gain protection. Okay. That's fine. Our best draw is probably then an effect like Sylvan Library or Crop to find Bojuka Bog for the Uro. Okay. Ooh, is Bog? You gain protection. Target player's graveyard. Ooh. Well then. I wonder then if the player's Ghost Quarter on the Savannah. They probably only play a basic planes. So I reckon Ghost Quarter here is going to be Strip Mine. I think they only play basic planes for things like Leyline Binding. So potentially here, we just get to strip them off green. They have an island, okay. Still, that's better. Don't really care about that. We just want to keep them off the Uro. What does the Ponta do? That'll be the biggest thing. They have 5 cards. I don't think it gets better for us. I think we just hope they don't have 2 pieces of interaction, which is pretty tough, but here we are. Oh, there's no white left. Oh, there's no white left. They're going to try to do something in response, but they can't because split second. Wow. Maybe like upkeep Brazen Borrower? I can't even look. I can't look sometimes. What have you got? It's got to be something. Oh my gosh. So they currently have no white mana. It has to be blue, right? They don't have like endurance mana open either. Very cool. Very cool. Wow. One thing to note as well is the Ghost Quarter took them off the second white. Off the Savannah. Alright. We're on the board. Could be looking for an Edict, potentially Sheoldred's Edict, which this deck doesn't have a great way of playing around. I have played against some decks that try out things like Bitter Blossom or Kahani Garden, which gives you a 0/1. Saga can give you some construct tokens. I don't mind Bitter Blossom. I think Bitter Blossom's kind of cool, especially post-board. But obviously a bit old school. Nice. That's very cool for reflexes to come up. Didn't think it would. But here we are. Ah, August Bowmaster? Yeah, of course. That's a great one, Damo. Okay, we have one piece of the combo in Scrying, but nothing really else going on for us. Very similar. Oh. There's a better 4. There is a better 4. We find it. Honestly, I think it's just putting away the colored cards and just saying, hey, let's try to beat Wasteland. Alright. This is pretty cool because Spirit Guide or Petal off the top gets there, which is really nice. Alright, maybe we can get one back on Delver. Okay, it's pretty good. I'm gonna hold the Petal. They put a Wasteland in the bin. Interesting. I believe that's because their only main deck way to deal with Needle is most likely Brazen Borrower. And what they're saying by putting their Needle in the bin is that the role of Borrower is not to go after Needle, it's to go after Depths. And so here they're probably looking to just try to find a Brazen Borrower as soon as possible. So our best cards off the top with the Petal as like a free spell are things like Quick Reflexes, of course, Not of This World, Crop Rotation. So that is 8 cards, which is pretty good. Thoughtseize or Inquisition, that makes it 10 cards out of the 55, which is pretty good. It's like around like 20%. Okay. They chose to shuffle their library, which is great for us. I think what I'll do here is also have a little think before I play anything. Another Needle. So Brazen Borrower is just, it's not an activated ability, it's actually just a spell, so Needle does nothing there. Just gonna, yeah, take some time here. Potentially play the Petal and see if they want to daze. Actually, no, maybe I don't want to daze. I reckon if I play the Petal and they daze it, they get 2 extra looks for Borrower. I'd rather just play the Urborg and pass. Not give them any chance to use their spells on anything to get extra looks to put into the bin. They don't even attack. Wow. Our last opponent was playing Stifle, and I'm definitely not making this turn, so I might as well make it now. There's no sorcery speed shenanigans that gets me. If they get Borrower, they get Borrower. I can't beat Borrower anyway, so I might as well make it now, just in case they draw into something like Stifle to just hold up. I feel like if they had Stifle, though, they'll ponder before they attack and then hold up the Stifle in case we go to make a blocker. They chose to shuffle. That's pretty good for us. I think the only thing they can do is try to make the DRCs flyers to block with one. Okay. Which means Crop Rotation and Sejiri Steppe are what we're really looking for. Bojuka Bog as well, so that's 6 cards off the top. I guess Sylvan Scrying kind of does it, so that makes it 10 cards off the top, which would be pretty good. Ooh, okay. Let's start with attacking. I will play this Petal out. Okay. Misty Delta. Tarn. They're probably playing like a 2 split of Misty Delta, Tarn, and Foothills, potentially. I think this is better just unknown information, especially with the green source in play. Starting with a Brainstorm. Oh, they kept a card on top, I think. Yeah. I guess to be fair, earlier on with the Ponder post-combat, they didn't want to turn on their DRCs to have to attack with them and therefore not have a blocker. That's probably why we saw the sorcery speed Ponder more than anything. Pretty much on a 2-turn clock, so you know they have Lightning Bolt. So like Borrower, Bounce, Lightning Bolt us, go to 10. We then have potentially 1 draw off the top. Because then they have the Borrower coming in as well. But again, like a solid mulligan to 4. Wow, they hold back the Delver. They didn't find what they want, but they kept on top. I don't understand that. Maybe they just want to get a bunch of flyers on the board. And now Sejiri Steppe looks really good. Okay. It's an 8/8. Ooh, that's pretty good. So they have creature, land in the bin. So I'm pretty much effectively at 4, knowing they have a bolt. But can you imagine like Legolas's quick reflexes here? That'd be pretty sweet. Wow, they don't even attack. They don't even attack. Huh. Alright, let's attack first and then Thoughtseize. Not even for 1. Okay. What do they hit? Daze and Misty? Okay. They have to block. Oh, they're gonna try to bolt with the... well, block with the Dragon Rage Channeler. That's interesting. I think here I'm fine to Thoughtseize. I still then have the mana left over to copy. The life total isn't too relevant. Any sort of cantrip I'd be happy to take. Definitely put up a fight, and it's not over yet. Days. Ah, interesting. I think in this case I'm happy to pay for the days. because I'm not going to make another 2020 while there's still one in play. And if they want to bounce in their turn, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's pretty sweet. Now we can jam. They most likely try to turn on. So that's now a 3/3. Honestly, like, I could crop here for Bog, but I'm pretty happy to allow them to block and then just hold the crop for a bounce. The last thing I would want, I don't think they have a bounce spell in hand, but I don't want them bouncing in response to the crop, so... Here we have the combo still open, we have crop open through the petal as well, so... I don't see how our opponent deals 10 to us before we deal 15 to them. Or 10 to them, I should say. But the turn 1 Needle really got there. And thankfully this game was a good, like, a pretty good example of how you can mulligan with this deck to really try to find a hand that has just a solid plan. Okay. Interesting. Wonder why you wait for the Brainstorm, because what if you find a Murktide? You can still cast the Murktide and block, and then still try to find future Murktides. Interesting. The Flusters, yes. I still like the Thoughtseizes, even though on the draw they're a little bit tough. I think we're just going to go again with the mana. It could actually be 2 Spirit Guides. It's tough. There's definitely advantages of Petal getting all colors and Spirit Guide being a little more of a surprise for things like Days. But I think overall I'm probably more happy to have a Petal on the field. Okay, this might actually be a 7 we get to keep. Because it's got a bit of everything. It's got protection in Needle, which is great. It has Bog in case they get some early big threats going. It also has Inquisition turn 1 into Needle potentially. Hey Bugsy, thanks for the raid. Hope you're well. Let me know what you streamed and how you went. And a big hello to all those from Barzeek stream. I'm Diggs on Twitch. I usually stream pretty fair Legacy Maverick or other fair decks like Depths, which yes is fair. Petal would be sweet here. I mean, finding the Depths as well is really nice. We're pretty happy here just to fire off Inquisition. I don't really want to throw the Needle into a Daze. Okay. So this is an interesting one. Obviously the Meltdown does answer the Needle, which is typically what we want to work towards. We do have the Bojuka Bog potentially for the Murktide as well. So I kind of want to take the Meltdown here. And then next turn, play Needle, play Bog to keep the Murktide at bay. Ooh, they can actually Murktide this turn. Ooh, but they played the Volk. Interesting. If they played the Delta, they could have gone for Murktide region that turn. Now we get to Bog them and take them completely off that. Could see a Brainstorm in response. Oh, they're going to Seek the Beast. Interesting. Delver, DRC. Name Wasteland. And now we get to Bog them. Nice. Keeps the Murktide at bay. So do we get to follow up with 2 creatures? Probably questing Druid into one of the others, but potentially not. Maybe they just play both. Okay. And Brainstorm now. Okay. Could have held it up. Maybe they're suspicious of something like a Flusterstorm. Okay. Ooh. A little thing here is I could have played the Dark Depths instead of the Stage, which allows me to untap and potentially draw into Hexmage, which would allow me to cast the Hexmage and also hold up Stifle, which isn't too relevant because we have the Needle and Wasteland, but I think there it was better to play the Dark Depths. Wow, they brainstormed, but they didn't flip the Delver. That is very interesting. That typically never happens. Maybe Bowmasters? Yeah, that's a great one as well. They could definitely think we're on Bowmaster. I'm just gonna hold up the combo here. We do have the Needle. They reveal Days. So they have 4 cards in hand and Days. Brainstorm. Another Delver. Another Delver. Huh. Oh, we have Sejiri Steppe. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's insane. That is actually... That is a moment. That's crazy. Submerge doesn't work because we don't have any forests. stolen. Wow. That is pretty sweet. Nice. All right, we're 2-1. Okay. Here we have a slow hand. We have... We do have the combo, but... like... Yeah. We do have access to Dark Depths and Sylvan Scrying, but I think it's just a little bit too slow. I'd rather have things like Inquisition or some sort of protection. I think I'm pretty happy to mulligan this and just get a bit more aggressive. This is a bit more aggressive. This is good. We can keep this in bottom of stage. And then we have play stage. And then next turn play Urborg, Petal. And then we have Elvish Spirit Guide to crop and also Petal. Yes, this works. Nice. LED. Okay, that's never a good sign. I do thanks to the Spirit Guide, because I'll have 3 mana here, which is 1 for crop and then 2 for go off. Most likely just getting Echo. There's not too much I can do here. Not a bad hand, but most likely not going to get to use it. Hey Lord, thanks for the sub. Very much appreciated. Hope you're doing well. Ah, they're mono red. Interesting. Oh, I get a turn? I don't really get to do anything. I don't believe they run Wishclaw Talisman. They run Gamble. I'm trying to think of the Horn, potentially, that they run. I actually don't think there's anything to name. Just having a look at Ruby Storm. Only the horn, yeah. I was trying to think of if Bergie... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I guess it's Handfell. And look, they're on 2 cards, and we do have the combo, so you never know. Karakas would have been pretty sweet if we had the Karakas here, but it is in the board for this one. Also, if we want a combo, we do it on our turn, of course, because of defense grid means we can't really crop in their turn. Huh, okay. Wow. Another defense grid is more than fine. Hexmage, please. Hexmage would be sweet. No. Ooh. That's interesting. That also gets through defense grid. Each spell costs 3 more. This isn't a spell, bro. Nothing great to hit here, so I think we're just going to allow them to go. They play a Volk. Okay. Ooh, double echo. Artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land. Like, I could hit something here with Boseiju, but I don't think it's actually worth it. There's nothing to really hit. Like, potentially... the Ancient Tomb to take them off 2 mana instead of 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Echo, of course, is 6. They still get to cast it. But maybe the 1 mana adds up. The issue is that next turn we're gonna be just going for the combo and then passing. Because we can play Gemstone and then sack Gemstone for Dark Depths, sack Mana Confluence for stage, and then Yavimaya allows us to tap the Dark Depths for mana, which is 2 mana for the stage to copy the Dark Depths. So yeah, it could just be the Opal, but then they get a land anyway. I think it's worth going after the Tomb. So I'm trading 2 mana for 1 mana. green, green. Crop this, get stage. Crop this, get Dark Depths. 2 mana. Copy Depths. Keep this one. And we hope. I would assume we're very dead here, but we'll see how they win. And then luckily we do have things like Flusterstorm. We do have Collector Ouphe and Force of Vigor post board, which is pretty sweet. Oh, even having the Stifle is pretty sweet, but of course we can't cast it, and they do have multiple defense grids online, so. Not of this world. Probably the needles. We like these. Leyline's interesting, but I don't think it's necessarily needed. Bog isn't great. The only real interaction is Rite of Flame. Ghost Quarter can come out. Probably Step, to be fair, as well. We are cutting it a little bit fine. Karakas is worth it. I don't think Surgicals, just because there isn't a great target. Echo is never usually online. But I don't mind the Leylines. I think we just take out the quick reflexes and just go with this. It's a lot of good hate. Dismember's always interesting. But I don't want to care too much about their stuff. I'd rather just have the Karakas as a way to deal with their threat. This is a tough one because we can go turn 1 Thoughtseize, but then turn 2 to Scrying for Dark Depths. We have to play a green source. And then we have to play the Dark Depths and then the stage. Too slow. Okay. Oh, okay. This is actually a sweet hand. We have Spirit Guide, Petal, Sylvan Scrying for Thoughtseize, for Urborg, and then play the Thoughtseize, and the next turn Dark Depths Hexmage. So we pitch a Dark Depths here. That's a great point. I think it is. I think it is just another green card for the Force. I think this is okay. All right. Exile, cast, Scrying, Urborg, land, Thoughtseize you. I think here it's just the Burning Wish. So let's have a... Yeah, I think it's the Burning Wish because it means they could find a potential answer for the Dark Depths. They can Burgy here, but... Yeah. There's Tomb. Petal. Burgy. Petal. Brainstorm. It's probably a good reason to go for Bergie as well. Yikes. All right. Let's hope. Okay. What are they going to do here? Okay, that's what they're going to do. In hindsight, I think potentially Bergie was the take. Allow them to have the Burning Wish. It's always tough. That's always a tough one. Luckily, we didn't show anything, which is great. Honestly, I could see Dismember on the draw, especially with Spirit Guide. There's a nice little 1-2 punch there. It could be this, like a Scrying and a Stifle potentially, just having like one Stifle if they do storm off, but I'd rather just not allow them to storm off. We have a turn 2 Collector Ouphe here, which I'm pretty happy to keep. And just hope. Ooh, okay. Okay. Nice. I think here I'm happy to Thoughtseize and then potentially hold up Stifle. Ah. Very lucky. Can someone in chat tell me what Boast does? Creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once. Does that make a creature attack? Doesn't matter? Okay. It's an ability, but the deck doesn't have creatures with the ability. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Crop rotation obviously gets there. What? Rite of Flame. Okay. They're going for an Echo. Sadly, I can't stifle that. I'd rather hold up the mana here for a crop rotation. Ah, but we drew the Karakas. Oh, but we have Fluster. Okay. Okay, interesting. They're gonna gamble. Is that worth hitting? Probably not. I think I'd like to just see them go off. I don't believe they can make green mana either, sorry, blue mana, because they've already played the Fiery Islet. They need to remove the Collector Ouphe in a way, and I feel like most ways that they can do that, we have the Flusterstorm to save it. Okay, they're really getting Storm Count up, which makes me pretty happy. Because they're going to try to LED into Echo? No, they can't, because of the Collector Ouphe. Maybe they can try to Burning Wish into Grape Shot? That's probably what they're looking for. Oh, there is a card that... I don't want to even say it. I don't want to say it. Okay. I'll allow this. Grape Shot. They can pay for 6 though. Maybe there's a world where you just fluster the Grape Shot. I was thinking of defense grid first and then maybe, like, my only thought was if they have another another wish. Yeah. Probably should have thought about that a little bit more. Can you imagine like quick reflexes here? That'd be pretty sweet. I actually don't know how you do this. Do you just click same targets? Do you click on each of these? I'm not a blue mage. I apologize. Okay, I think that worked. Yeah, I think you click each of them. I think as well, just looking at this as well, what I should have done is just targeted all the ones that were going after Ouphe. Just so they couldn't pay all of the ones targeting Ouphe, instead of going after like one of each. Because I don't really care about my life total. I kind of care about it being lower than, say, 6. Because 3 from Bergie and 2 from my own Mana Confluences. Yeah. Okay. This isn't too bad, because it means we could potentially find a crop to then get the Karakas. No. Yeah, it does have like Hexmage and Dark Depths, but not a lot of anything else. Okay. I assume they have it somewhat. They have the LED. Guess I shouldn't 6 in case they do have another Echo, and we can just get rid of this Spirit Guide. Horn. Okay. There it is. Tough. Yeah, I think definitely clicking on Ouphe is a lot better. It's, in hindsight, a lot better there. In hindsight, going after the Burning Wish, but I think I could potentially play around the mana they had by allowing them to get the Grape Shot and cast it, and then just save the Collector Ouphe instead of going after each point going after me. So definitely on me. But yeah, can't be too unhappy. Like, turn on Ouphe's pretty cool. But then, yeah. Yeah, I think if I looked at the Ouphe and I could save the Ouphe, then the Ouphe turns off the echo anyway, because it does turn off the LED, which is nice. That'd be pretty sweet if we had like crop and stifle in hand, and then could use the green to crop for blue to stifle the tendrils. All right, let's finish this on a high. This is pretty good. I mean, here we have turn 1, get Dark Depths, and then turn 2, play Hexmage. Could also try to Inquisition first. If we Inquisition first, then next turn, we get to get Dark Depths, so we get a free mana, we might get to cast the Hexmage. It's a tough one. I kind of like just going for it. Urborg into Lotus Petal into Dark Depths. The next turn, Hexmage off Dark Depths. Opponents on a bunch of different decks. I think just because of that, I do just want to Inquisition first and see what's up. Ooh, Cephalid. Okay. In that case, we don't really care about the dazes. I will play this out. Just an island. Well, that makes it a lot easier. Brainstorm. Wow. All right. Well, we even know what we're up against, which is really nice. Which means I like these. Tower is also pretty interesting because it stops the Stoneforge plan if they're running the Stoneforge plan, and it also stops Shuko. It does make them... it actually also targets them in case we want to go after their graveyard, which is pretty funny. I don't mind the needles knowing that they're on Saga. Stifle, probably less interested in this matchup. Bojuka Bog's pretty good. Boseiju's pretty good. Ghost Quarter. Steppe. Yeah. Probably a little bit slower. I don't mind this. Fluster's pretty interesting. But all in all, pretty happy to keep the core of the combo while having some interaction with the combo from their end. Leyline's definitely a thought. But I don't want to keep a hand just because of Leyline. Like, a hand has to have like Leyline and also the combo, which tonight has been pretty hard to get, so I think Surgical's where I want to be. Okay. I mean, this has interaction in Summon Inquisition, and then potentially Hexmage to Dark Depths with Nod of the Swab open. Ooh, even better. Now we get to play around days. I don't want to play out Hexmage either. I want to play Hexmage out when I have the Depths. And because Depths doesn't tap for mana, I don't want to play the Hexmage with Depths in play. So next turn I want to go Mana Confluence pass. Next turn, Hexmage. Oh, okay. Teferi's a little bit annoying here. That I think I just allow them have like half the combo. Funnily enough, we can also Hexmage the Cephalid if we really wanted to mill them. I never knew it had that other part. 3 mana tap, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target creature you control this turn. There's also a world where we take an Illusionist and then try to rip something like Dismember or Surgical off the, I guess Dismember off the top. But like, it's kind of a case of if they have one Illusionist, that's usually enough. The thought of taking one is if we drew into removal. I think it's the Teferi, because also taking Teferi might make my opponent think we have interaction that we want to use on their turn. Sad. I do just want to act like we have crop rotation open. They chose to shuffle. Okay. The other one. All right. Force pitch Narcomoeba. That still makes me want to play Depths in case we draw into stage. Okay. They're gonna go beat down. I guess in that case, we go beat down? It stops some of the bleeding at least. Hey Past, welcome. Hope you're well. I wonder if Fetchia gets Sanctuary. No. Ah, okay. That makes me want to bring in the Leylines, which I'm probably happy to drop on the knots. Yeah. So here we have the combo, but it's quite slow. Like it's... Probably Yav, pitch, Petal, play Scrying, and then just hold up the combo, but then it's kind of just dead. There's a better hand. This is probably close. Keep bottom A hex. Double Brainstorm Swords, Narcomoeba. They do have a Force. Okay. Okay. Currently their blue source is the Flusterstorm as well, so that's quite nice. Now, chat, please remind me. If I Vampire Hexmage a Urza Saga, it doesn't go to the graveyard, does it? It just restarts at 0, and then goes to 1, and then 2, and then 3. Go for Saga. Okay. See if they want to force this. No. Now it's a little bit tough. I kind of want to go for Dark Depths, but I also like Urborg because it turns on Hexmage and it turns on just keeping Gemstone around for a little while longer. Like, we know they have Force of Will, so if we do top deck into a black source, then the Hexmage is getting 4. Yeah. I guess we have just like get Dark Depths, try to Surgical Swords, go that route. I mean, a Petal, a Spirit Guard off the top's pretty nice. Maybe it is like play to win. And then end of their draw step, we can Surgical Swords. I feel like the Saga means that they have a Cephalid Illusionist in play, in hand, and they want to get to Shuko quickly, so potentially we can Surgical Swords, Needle Shuko, try to get the Force out of there with maybe that like Surgical or Hexmage. Tough. Alright, draw step, swords, life. They probably just force pitch Narcomoeba. No. So they have 2 Shukos, 1 Needle. They're really just protecting the combo. Thankfully, yeah, that's a good sign, chat. Thankfully, their Needle, if they name Stage, we have the Hexmage. If they name Hexmage, we have the Stage. And they do have the Cephalid, so they are going to go for it pretty quickly. They also have double Force. So we might just be out of luck here. I guess we can try to Needle Shuko, they force it. Play Confluence. I think it's worth trying to, because right now we know they have Cephalid at least. Force Pitch, Brainstorm. Yeah, these three. Nakamoeba's gone. I believe they have one more force. Which isn't great. But yeah, I feel like I just have to remove the counters. Yeah, I have to kill it now. Or not kill it, but reset it. Ooh, okay. That's pretty interesting. Because if they try to end-step Brainstorm... No. Force Pitch Brainstorm, they got Cephalid left. Ooh, no black mana. Damn. That's it. Tough. Tough. Deck was sweet. Deck was cool. A few pretty massive mulligans. I think we maybe kept 1 or 2 sevens. But I am pretty aggressive as well with what I want to keep with this deck. But yeah, a fair bit of combo, which typically it was kind of like turn for turn, which was nice, but yeah. Sometimes I do miss some sort of card draw, like kind of like the thought of Sylvan Library in a turbo deck, because you can just typically take a fair amount of life from Library before your opponent yeah, runs you over. But it does open you up to things like Orcish Bowmaster, and it's pretty hard to cut a card from this as well for something like Library. That it's pretty hard. Like on paper and on thought, it seems good, but potentially just isn't there. But hey, that's me. A big thank you for coming in and watching. If you want to find me anywhere, you can find me on YouTube and Twitter. I'm going to see who else is streaming and send you guys over there. It looks like Gabe is, which is cool. Blue was somewhat relevant. We didn't really... Yeah, like the Fluster came up. The Stifle didn't. But they are very powerful cards, so I can see like the reason to play them. But I do still like green-black turbo as well. It's pretty sweet, and I've had a lot of success with that, so maybe next stream we'll return to green-black. But until then, take care. Hey, hope you're enjoying the content. A huge thank you as well just to my patrons quickly, not only those who currently support me, but those who've been part of the Zenith in the past. It's a pretty phenomenal feeling to be supported by other players, not just in the Maverick or Legacy sphere, but those who just enjoy Magic content. My content will never be behind a paywall, and these patrons allow that to continue to happen. You may have also noticed I've stopped adding ads during my YouTube videos, and that's not just a quality choice, but also a direct outcome of having people support me through platforms like Patreon, doing a nation decklist. So a huge thank you to you. I love what I do. I love being a community member of the Maverick and even Depths communities, the wider Legacy community in general, and it's a privilege. So thank you. All right, let's get back into it.